Hello again, it's your friend, the Millionaire Maker in the Making. I want to share a quick story with you. A while back, I had a most interesting encounter with an older white gentleman. I was at the gym finishing my workout and preparing to head home to get cleaned up for my first coaching session of the day, when this man I would see there frequently enters the locker room, and it turns out his locker was just a few down from the one I was using. He was personable, very sharp of mind, witty, open, and engaging. He seemed to be a happy fellow. Then he shared a few riddles with me, with which I enjoy, and went on to share some incredible nuggets of wisdom and experience. I imagine he was old enough to have children my age. We spent some time talking and laughing together, unconcerned about our differences, backgrounds, educational achievements, socioeconomic standings, or any other superficial thing for that matter. We were just two tired, sweaty guys having a most pleasant conversation. Now, I shared with him that a great deal of what we've been discussing were interesting because of a book I'd been reading. And that's when a most profound and life-changing moment occurred. He began sharing some excerpts from memory of a book he holds dearly because he believed it to be responsible for a true life change for him. The book is The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck, for those of you who might be interested in getting it. Then this man, whom I'd just met formally, mentions he believed he had an extra copy of the book in his car. He asked if I was in a hurry, inferring he'd go get this extra copy for me. Now, I was really surprised at his generosity and willingness to share. And I say this because I've been having some moments that are tampering with my hope for mankind. But don't worry, I know all is not lost. However, I graciously declined his offer, informing him I would buy the book as I always want to add to my already vast personal library of hard copies and digital books. I also told him how much of a pleasure it was to make his acquaintance and that I would surely look for him from then on so we could continue our conversations. And so I, of course, went home and immediately purchased the book he mentioned. I began reading it and instantly realized why he thought so highly of the book. I was estimating it was probably going to have the same sort of impact on me as it obviously had with him. Now, I hope I'm not boring you with the details of this story. There's a very important reason I'm sharing all this with you. You see, while working out, straining, grunting, working really hard, sweating, breathing hard, etc., I noticed this very gentleman on the floor. He, at his age, which I presume to be early to mid-70s, was stretching and putting his legs behind his head. Now, I couldn't do that, and I was much his junior at that time. So it's obvious he doesn't suffer with what we presume to be old people's ailments like arthritis, bursitis, or any kind of inflammation that causes stiffness. He was also in really good shape for any person at any age. As I noticed him on that gym floor, I thought to myself, he was a really interesting character. He looked like he could have been a professor or at least someone that was really smart. But for some strange reason, I thought he could be a salesperson. This man I didn't know, but had seen many times, struck me in a different way this time. I thought to myself, he could be a great salesman. After a little more conversation in the locker room, I asked him what he did. And guess what he replies? He said, I've been a successful salesman since I was 5 years old, but now I'm an independent marketing rep. I was dumbfounded. He went on to share that he was a greeting card company's top salesperson in the country at the age of 5, and that put him on a road that he's optimized up to the very present. What I noticed about Ron, such an ordinary name for a man having done such extraordinary things, it put him on my radar. I was very intentional about getting in his presence to introduce him to the business that was contributing to my own thriving. But I'm sharing all this with you to focus on the matter of greater importance: choosing a path, a road, a course. See, everyone comes to a place in their lives when they're confronted with a very important life choice. What road do I take? Everyone's on his or her way somewhere. Some know where they're going clearly. Others only have a vague idea. And yet most people have no idea at all. But everyone at some point in their life's journey meets a crossroads. This wide intersection makes or breaks us, depending upon the choice we make in that moment. Some look as far as they can so they can scout out the wearing on the road. They want to know if it's been traveled before. They want to know they're not the first and that others have already started down the road they're considering. They hope others are going to be there so they won't have to travel it alone. Others look ahead and can't see any real sign of traffic on the road. It's filled with uncertainty, risks, and definitely some solitary days. Be clear on that, wise. The worn road is well traveled. It's the way of the majority. 97% of the world's population chooses that road in their moments of decision. And it's the reason 3% of the world's population controls more than 90% of the world's wealth. And the top 1% controls more than 50% of the world's wealth. I understand that when Ron may have met his crossroad, he made a choice to travel the road less traveled, which has resulted in his good health, his unusual flexibility, his cheerful countenance, his openness to share, his spirit of generosity, and what I'm assuming will be a long and fruitful life. Therefore, today I want to encourage you to take the road less traveled, the way of the minority, the road of responsibility, the road of sacrifice, the road of delayed gratification, the road of disciplined work, the road of consistent and persistent effort, the road of learning, the road of personal development, the road of serving, the road of focus, and the road of challenge. Choose that road, if you will, because it is the road that leads to personal success, health, wealth, wisdom, intelligence, favor, fortune, and freedom. It is the narrow, hard way, the way far less traveled, the way of the few, the brave and truly committed. But it is the way to life as we desire and intend it to be. When we make this choice for the road less traveled, it sets us up to become the person that can have chance encounters of destiny. It signals to the multiverse to bring to us everything and everyone we need to assist us in our journey. This choice will require us to become more than we ever dared to be before, to do things in a new and different way, to think outside the box of society's norms, the illusions of security and safety. The road less traveled makes us exceptional because being exceptional is required on that road. On the road less traveled, you're the pioneer blazing new trails, setting new standards, creating and innovating new solutions, inventions, and systems. So, the life we've all discussed, the life of total freedom, it's not on the road well traveled with footprints all about it. That life, the life of total freedom, is on the road less traveled. So, what road do you choose today? Remember, it's regality always.